Istungon Jokayadega. Istungon Jokayadega. Make it through the night, okay? Did you make it through the morning? Okay, Istungon Jokayadega ga. Aga. Okay? Istungon Jokayadega ga. All right. Here we go. I want y'all to pay attention to these words now because this is different words, you know, that you can learn. You know, you can learn these words like this oboshwa. Oboshwa is juice, any kind of juice. Basco oboshwa, bagana oboshwa, domada oboshwa. One is grape juice. You can do peach juice. You can do anything with that oboshwa. And that's one of the things that, you know, that's just putting words together, guys. Like, you know, you can ask your child, Basco oboshwa? Basco oboshwa is grape juice. And that's what we use during our Lord's Supper is Basco oboshwa. So that's how we, you know, we use that. So that's the things. Look here, a crow, oshahwa, oshahwa. Listen to it, oshahwa. And to me, that's a weird sounding word, oshahwa. And that's a crow. It's a crow, oshahwa. But now listen up. What's not on here is jokbilabila. Jokbilabila. That is a all those birds that go at night. Whippoorwill. Whippoorwill is called jokbilabila. Jokbilabila. Now listen to that. Jokbilabila. That's joke. Be, la, be, yeah. Jokbilabila. Those are all sounds, but it's a bird. It's a bird and jokbilabila. And see how these words are.
Yeah. Move it somewhere to the side.
There we go. Okay. Jokbilabila. That is, but listen to the sounds. Jokbilabila. That's a whippoorwill. Listen to this. Oshahwa. Oshahwa. That's a crow. And what I'm getting a point as, look at all these weird words that is our language, and we communicate with it. Jokbilabila. Jokbilabila. But do you know that's a descriptive word? Have y'all, how many knows what a whippoorwill is? How many has heard one?
I have.
Okay. I don't know. Okay. When y'all hear it, I want y'all to listen to it. This is for listening. I have my class go outside a lot of times without telephones, without computers, without TV. Go outside at night. See how many sounds you hear, because a lot of times we hear, but we don't listen. How many believes that? We hear, but we don't listen. So I'll tell my students, I want you to go outside and tell me how many sounds you hear. What did you hear? Anyway, if you listen to a whippoorwill, you will actually hear him say, jokbilabila. He says his own name. Jokbilabila. How many knows that? See, when you listen, you hear something that you missed. And so that's how come my husband will tell my kids, my grandkids now, he'll say, turn off that TV, put that computer up, put that telephone up, and go air out. He'll say, go air out, take it outside. And they will hear things. And they'll say, what is that? Well, I name it in Mvskoke for them. I don't name it in English. I name it Mvskoke because they hear all these sounds. And you know how excited they are? They'll go and tell their friends what they heard, but it's just getting you outside to listen to all these sounds that the world has to offer that we miss, but they got Greek words to them. They're Mvskoke, like chokbilabila. Chokbilabila. And a lot of people doesn't there it is, chokbilabila. That's it. There it is. Somebody got it. Chokbilabila. And that's a whippoorwill. But now listen to these sounds. Hujida, to beat. Corn. Hojida. Hojida. Look at Perry. Hayakpo. Hayakpo. It don't mean nothing to anybody else but to us. It doesn't mean anything to anybody else. So if you went around saying, oh, I hear chokbilabila, there, no one will know. In fact, if you listen to chokbilabila, and if you walked around saying chokbilabila, they may think that you're have this mental issue. And so my grandkids, you know, they know what that is. And you know, one whole year, right before the pandemic, we didn't hear one of them. And I asked my husband, I said, you know what I don't hear? And I told him, I said, I don't hear chokbilabila. And he goes, you know what? I haven't heard it. And made me wonder, okay, where they at? What happened to them? So every night, and this was one of my things, I went out to hear. I didn't hear it for one whole summer. And to me, that's strange. That was a strange thing. And then this pandemic comes along. And you know, for us Mvskoke people, sometimes there's a sign. You know, we believe in signs. And I said, that's weird. I said, there's always whippoorwills around. I said, chokbilabila is always around. I said, we have to hear them. We sit out there almost every night just to see if there was chokbilabila making sounds. I've never heard one, never seen them for a whole summer. And they come out summertime. That was weird. But see, and then I was telling somebody else about it. I said, have y'all heard chokbilabila? And it was a Creek woman. I was asking her in Creek. In Mvskoke, I said, have you heard of chokbilabila bohitsa? I said, I said, I haven't heard any. Have you heard him? She goes, I never thought about it, but I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna listen. See, she never thought about it until I brought it, and she said, I'm gonna listen. Well, about 3 or 4 days later, she called me and she said, you know, Becky, you're right. She said, there's no whippoorwills around. She goes, I didn't hear any either. And that was something that we talked about. Why? You know, why? Okay, look here. Mvskoke. Mvskoke. This is a pelican, but that is actually a descriptive word. Nok is short for nokwa. Nokwa is your neck, and sokja is a bag. So Mvskoke. It's saying a bag on their neck. But look at how it fits. Mvskoke. To me, that's like, they made a descriptive word, but somebody named it to say a bag on their neck, because we didn't have pelicans, but to me, that's normal. That is just the way it should be said. Mvskoke. Mvskoke. Okay.
Mvhayv,
Huh?
Mvhayv, Oshawa.
Huh?
Am
There you
I
go.
saying that right?
You are.
We had, we live on a birding trail here in
Uh-huh.
Osceola County, and we always have a lot of birds. We have a lot of Oshawa.
Uh-huh.
But before that last big hurricane that came, about 4 days before it, the Oshawa were going crazy outside our window. I mean, they were just mad crazy, just loud as could be. And we have them all the time, but it was before that big hurricane came. So they know, the animals know, like you're saying.
They tell you things. They would watch nature. Like I said before, a storm, my grandma, she used to say, we better, she would have little chicks during that time. And she said, y'all better go gather them up because it's gonna storm. And I always wondered, and she said the leaves turned upside down. And I didn't know what she meant by the leaves are turning upside down until after I got older. And actually, scientifically now, when there's vacuum in the air, when it's gonna storm, and it made the leaves, the light colored side come up. And she knew it was gonna storm. See, we studied nature, and then one time birds were out feeding. And my mother said, it's gonna snow, because they're feeding, they're getting ready for it. And it did. It snowed, because she said, they're getting ready, they're feeding out. She said, they're really eating. She said, it's gonna snow, Becky. And she told me, she said, go to the store and get extra stuff like bread, milk, things that we could eat. She said, we need to go to the store. And she was right. See, we were our own. That's why I always say we were fairly intelligent people. Very intelligent. Because you know what? Who knew that the leaves turn, but yet meteorologists said the vacuum in the air causes that. They knew it. And they didn't know it was a vacuum, but they knew that every time it was going to storm, those leaves did.
My mom would explain it. She wouldn't say that in depth, but she would say it's getting his hands out for the Ola.
Yeah. Yeah.
She would always explain stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, and then when the moon was like this,
Oh,
just
is it strange? Is this a strange thing?
is it strange?
Yes.
Yeah, some things are, and we call it Shihonichki. Something strange, Shihonichki. That means like different or out of the ordinary or something unusual. Is Shihon.
Mm-hmm.
And so for a whippoorwill not to be out where we are, during the summertime was just it wasn't normal.
Mvhayv.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we have the same thing with earthquakes.
Yeah.
Cats and dogs start stirring right before an earthquake.
Yeah. I mean, they know, they feel it. And so that's where our deal was. They studied nature. They knew nature. And so that's how they got their ways of doing things, like that year I said, and then it got around. I guess my friend told other ones, Becky said that there wasn't no whippoorwills around. And she said, I went, listen, and there isn't any. And this was even with non-Indians. They said, we haven't heard of whippoorwill. Well, for them, it might have been like, there was a reason for them scientifically, but for us, it was like something's going to happen.
Right.
Unusual. Something's going to happen. It was telling us, it was warning us that something was going, and then the pandemic hit. And my mom told me a story that she told me that there was going to be something like this hit, but she said I wouldn't see it. She said, you probably won't see it, but your grandkids will. That's what she told me. She said there's going to be an illness. And she told me this was predicted way back. She said the elders said, one day there will be something that comes in that kills a lot of people. She said they're not going to know what it is. And she said, you probably won't see it though, but your grandkids will. Your grandkids will probably see. I saw it with my grandkids. I believe she was talking about this right here, that the elders, how long ago, told her, I don't know. She just said it was said long time ago that something would come in. And she said, it's gonna get here. So, and I was, my mom's been gone for a while now, maybe 11 years. And I told my husband, one day we was in the kitchen. And of course, it shut everything down. And so when I was, we were talking and I said, I remember mom telling me this. I said, I think this is what she was talking about. I think this is what she was talking about. And she said she could have been. But see, they had different ways of knowing, and elders, I don't know how they did, but they did.
Well, they also know the cycles
Yeah.
of things, and that was one of the things they were talking about. 100 years, something like this happens. So we were overdue when it started.
I guess.
2020 for that. But Stajatians know the cycles of the earth and things. That's not a lot of people do.
Yeah, and she told me that, and I was like, and I always wondered about it, because after she told me that, I thought, what is gonna be? I wonder what and that kind of scared me. What my grandkids are gonna face. What's coming for this world that my grandkids gonna have to face. And it was kind of scary, to do that. But look at all these words, look at the sounds of them. Malumha. Malumha is a button. Malumha. Look at it. Everybody says button in this world. But you can say malumha. And that's how I look at language, is how it's said and how it sounds, and what the world is saying and what we're saying. But malumha. Malumha. And look, clean, hasaki. Hasaki. All the whole world says clean, but we say hasaki. And hasaki, clean, means all kinds of things to us in our world. It could mean clean soul. And my grandma used to always tell she used to say, Jimagifetska, hasaki. Shifigi, hasaki. And she always told me, don't ever get dirty. Don't ever get dirty. She said, don't ever be dirty. And that could have meant all kinds of things for me as a grandmother. She wanted me to be clean in all kinds of ways. She told me to be clean in my mind, my heart. And I still carry that with me. And I pass that down to my kids and grandkids. I told them, my grandma used to always say, be clean. Mind, heart, everything, be clean. But, all these things here are words that nobody else knows. And that's what I'm trying to say. Mihinwa. Look here, truth. Mihinwa. That's truth. Everybody else says truth, but we say mihinwa. It just sounds different to me. I don't know. That's how I look at language, though. I look at language like, how can the whole world say moon when we have this word that says Hathisi? Hathisi. That's how I look at language. I look at it as like Hathisi. Where did it come from? Why did they say that? How come it sounds so different? Hathisi. That's how I look at language. That's how I got so obsessed with it again. Excuse me. Ishche. Response. Ishche. Everybody says hello, but we say Ishche. And what I'm saying is be different. I like being different. I'm a different person. While the whole world is saying hello, we say Jay. And the response is, Jay. How are you? Why about saying, how are you? We say, Istungo. Listen to the tone. How are you? But we say, Istungo. 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 That's how, this is how our language is. It's something that it's a different language. It's different. It's no one else knows but y'all now. You guys. You're the only ones that knows this now. And that makes you unique because this language is unique. And very intelligent. Yes, it's Tungo. How are you? Yes, you know. And you? Now this is a whole conversation. I can say straight because elders didn't say he's J way back. They say J. I've heard of J. They just say J. Or some of them said John. And this were the older people. They say J. Instead of he's J. They say J. Or John. And it was understood. I knew what they meant. Because those elders would come to me and they would say, J. I say, Stongo. I knew what they were talking about. And so, this is the, way of, they say he's J. That was their way of saying he's J was J or J. Istongo. Now listen to my tone. Istongo. Jinda. Istongesos. Now listen to me. Istongesos. Chihijagat hofonis. Oh, chihijagat hitos. Hitos. Now listen. Chihija hitos. I can say it that way, but I can also put a lot of feeling into this. Chihija hitos. Hitos. Tihijiga. Hofone. Hofon. And you can even add it at Tihijiga. Hofonegat altonches.
Tihijiga.
Tihijiga. Hofone.
Tihijiga.
That's true. Mundos. Mundos. And then you can say, Abaldagi dongon fulla.
Abaldagi dongon fulla.
Abaldagi dongon fulla. Is the rest okay? Abaldagi dongon fulla. Dongon fullis. Ginata. See how I'm speaking? That's how we speak. Greeting of visitor. Ajibus. Ajibus. Come in. Legibus. Sit down. This is how I actually talk. This is my real speaking way. Okay. This is how I speak. And before I was just kind of showing you Legibus. Have a seat. But what you're hearing right now is the way I actually speak to people. Legibus. Knock iskida chiachigo. Knock iskida chiachigo. Coffee or jados. Hombit chidoa. Hombit chidoa. Adam dalagat j. See, right here, you're saying, inviting them back, come back again. You don't just say, come back again. You say, come back again. And that can be only said in a certain way in English. Come back again, come back again. But in Mvskoke, you say, Hadam Thalagatje. Hadam Thalagatje. And then when you're leaving, Chihijakas. Chihijakas. I'll see you again. Chief office. See, these got tones and emotion behind everything in speaking. It's got emotion in it. You know, when we even saying sit down, have a seat, that's English, have a seat. Sit down, but we say legibus. What does that sound like to you? Legibus? But saying have a seat, sit down. That's English. But for us, it's legibus, legibus, sit down. Okay. Hey, my hand. Look here. Stay. Stay. You don't just say stay. You say stay. It's don't go. It's don't guess. Look here. Now, y'all can actually say yes to this. Mvskoke obonaga onayi chidowa. Mvskoke obonaga onayi chidowa. Okay, y'all can say this to me now. Halalaki obonayas. Halalaki. Please speak slowly. Halalaki obonayas. Please speak slowly. You know. And you know, we're used to speaking fast, I guess. Some people say, slow down, slow down. Adamagas. Please say it again. And it's a command, but when we say it, Adamagas, it's not actually demanding. But right here, if we didn't have, and they don't have no please on this right here. It's just saying, say it again. If you say it in English, you say it again. It kind of sounds blunt to me. Say it again. Or if we didn't have the please in English, it wouldn't say it again. I don't know. It just sounds like demanding or something, like ordering you to. But here, when you say, and we don't even have please right here. We just say, Hadamagas. Look at the tone. Hadamagas. The tone itself says please. Hadamagas. Or you can say Hadamagichiha. Hadamagichiha. And you say it again. See? And you can say Inga. Or you can say monks. But in Mado, this is where, you know, we say thank you. Thank you. But we can do that too. We can say, Mado, Mado. See, our language has emotion. A lot of emotion that we can do with this. And says, I will see you again. Chihijathis. 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 See, this language is different from any, I just like it, I don't know. Maybe it's because, I don't know, look here. Golgi, Golgi golichidos, yomuchkidos. Turn on the light first, it's dark. Turn on the light, it's dark. See, there's two different ways to say this. Golgi golidas, yomuchkidos. Get up, move around fast. I like it, lucky nigias. I like it is get up, lucky is fast, nigias, move around. And there's no deal where it says move around. There's no word in here for around. But when you say nigias, it means move around. Move, go here, move there, go run down the road. Move around. Pour water in and take a bath. Owa adjustnet. Adjustnet is pour it. What? Owa. I mean water. Aglobus, take a bath. Owa, ajahnet, aglobus, pour water in and take a bath. Take a shower. Owa, iokalas. Iokalas is like taking something and pouring it from the head down. On top of the head and goes down. That's why it says pour water, it says pour water on yourself. Iokalas. Achegi hoboyas. Just put them on. Hurry, put on your socks. This is my life. Because I have 3 grandkids, you know, and they'll listen to me before they listen to their mother. So, you know, if they gonna go somewhere, I'll say, let me just, lucky. And you know, one girl come over and she said, underly. And they looked at her like, and I said, no, don't use that in here, you know, we don't use, you know, they're not learning this. I say, lucky. And she said, what is that? And they were still looking at her like, what's underly? And you know, and they was wanting me to ask because they didn't want to ask.
Yeah.
And then the little middle girl comes up to me, she goes, she whispered to me, what's that word? I said, underly means fast. Or move faster. I don't know what it actually translates to. And she goes, oh, well, guess what this little girl did? About a week or 2 later, she told her brother, underly. See, she remembered it. And I said,
That's Spanish.
yeah, it's Spanish. And she was like,
Underlay.
underlay. She knew, she remembered it. You know, and I thought, you know, okay, look here. Golgi is like, religious is a command, turn on the light, turn on light. Actually, there's no D in here. It just says religious. It's lighted, but it's a command. Yomuchki is dark, and of course, y'all know what Dos is. Alegas. Bless you. Alegas, get up. Lucky is quickly or hurry, making it, hurrying it up. Nigias is a command, it's food. Owa, water. Ajahnet, pour it in. This is me, it. Ajahnet, right here, et. Take a bath, that's a command. Aglobus. Anytime you have a telling somebody to do something, you'll have this BSRC at the end. Quickly, lucky. Adjust. Istili Poselska. Isti, this is short for isti. Dili is like a person's leg. Isti ili is saying a man or a person's leg. Isti ili. Sahojechka means it saves their feet. It Sahojechka means kind of, let's see if I can get the right. It saves it. It saves your feet. Lucky, quickly. Ideas, put it on. See, there we go again. There's that command. We do a lot of commands. You know, my mother used it, you know. She would, and she used a lot of commands. She'd say, Humbida, highest, cook. She'd say cook, you know, and or she said, not heat up things. Or she would say, you know, a lot of them was commands, you know, and we have a lot of commands, even though in English it's called a command and it was telling us to do something. It was something that wasn't rude, like bossy, I guess you could say.
A lot of times you think of a command as being bossy.
Bossy, yeah.
Like if you were in the military, get over here,
Yeah.
that kind of tone, but our Mvskoke is saying it's just
I just,
do this.
like, get over here, like she said. But for us, it's I just,
It's not rude.
Rude, I guess. You know, that's how come, you know, okay. Automate, and this is automy, it's short for auto. We couldn't say auto, I guess. Or did we just change it to fit the Mvskoke language because everybody knows automy? Automy. Tojungas. Climb on to. Started. Alleged, just go. Ah, yes.
So on automy, is that car and truck or just,
Okay,
or is there a difference or?
there is, automy is a car. Now I have a question here. Automy is a car, but a truck is chonichka. Chonichka means to move. But do they move with it? It moves your things. It's descriptive. You know, chonichka is a truck. Automy is a car. And but if you're talking, just talking, you can use automy for a truck.
When I teach my grandbaby, I say automy for the vehicles.
Vehicles, yeah. Automy. But now truck, it says it's descriptive. Chonichka. It's saying it's moves. It's moving, and that's when you load it though. Chonichka, because chonichkida is to move. You see what I'm saying? So they call it truck chonichka. Ofacha. Ofacha is like because of. Ofacha. Achida, adihida, yeah. Simathakadoa. Ofacha means like ofacha is like because of. Okay, achida is to put something on. Adihida is to put something in. Like dilibega adihas. There's a question here. They said nagidi ofacha and achida adihida simathaki. Okay, what's the difference? Okay, when you put something in something like sokta, remember? Joga adihas. You put something into something, that's adihida. Achida is like a quilt. They call a quilt achida. And it's like gaba achida, to put on a coat. Does that make sense? Ishchonichka is jonijida. Jonijida, or you know, like to haul things with. So that's how come you haul things. Jonijida, jonijida, jonijida. It's like, is that what? Did I confuse everybody or did you? Okay, Nancy. It's Jonichka. We call it, that's the proper way of saying it, Amy. It's Jonichka. We say Jonichka. You know, okay. I'm gonna do this right here. Bonaga is the talk. Bonaga is language. Bonaga. Mvhayv, teach it. Sidim, each other. And this is where Sidim Balgas, share with each other. Sidim, each other. Bonahoga, talking. Okay. Hochejit, write it. Joga, paper. Okay, we're going to do a new one today. Look here. Okay. Look here. This looks like takes. But it ain't. It's doggies. Doggies. It's ready, or it's doggies, like when you in doggida is to get ready. And doggies is short for saying it's ready. So this is my word. when I'm cooking. I'll say doggies. And I'll say hummus, doggies. I'll say it's ready, eat. Okay. Hey, Huyi. We're getting in there now. Hey, Huyi. Hey is a word for hot. Hey, Huyi is they are. Hey, Huyi dosti. They're hot now. Be careful. Hey, Huyi dosti. Hear my, they're hot now. So I tell my kids, Hadidji, wait. Hadidji is wait. I say Hadidji. Because they try to get their own food and I'm afraid they might get it on their hands. And so I say, Hadidji, wait, I'll put it in for you. See, I'll do it for them. And so me and my husband, see, we have 3 grandkids and it's just my daughter works at night. So it's just the 3 grandkids and me and my husband when it's time to eat. They're in the weekdays. So he's doing 1 or 2 and I'm doing 1 or 2. And so we're the last ones to eat. We're the last ones to eat, but and then some of it, the little boy, we have to and I don't know how y'all do it, and it might not be sanitary, but we blow on our food. We blow on our food to cool it off, and even our babies, we blow on our food, and for us, it's normal. But for I guess sanitary reasons, it might not be what other people are used to, but with our people, that's how we feed our babies, Okay. Hey, Huyi dosti. Hey, Huyi is plural. Hey, Huyi is for they. It's they're hot. They are hot. See, this is plural. Hey, Huyi dosti. Nak iskida ajanas. I think that's spelled wrong. Ajanas, supposed to be ajanas. Pour in your drink. Ajanas means pour in, but when you're doing it for yourself, because ani is a pronoun saying me, I, you say ajanas. You're getting not iskida. Not is something. Iskida is to drink. Want something to drink. Pour it in for yourself. Asi ojidos. There is tea. There's no there here. But asi is tea. Oji means have. Is. But there's no there, but that's the only way to do it. How would you do that in English if they say they're asi ojidos? Because remember, this is tea, have, is. How would you say that in English? Anybody got the answer for that?
Oh, okay.
Okay, there you go. Come on.
So I would say that's the ojidos. Tea having it is might be a literal.
Okay, so it'd be like I have tea or having tea or
Well, or you might go with now we have tea. If you want a loose translation, it's still
Yeah,
sure we
have
is.
tea, I guess. Have tea.
Now we have tea, so.
Yeah, we have tea.
Then you can also do the body language T.
Yeah, well,
And that's kind of implied here, it's yours here.
I had an aunt, my whole family on my mom's side and my dad's side, they didn't speak English. So we was at the grounds and she couldn't speak English, And I'm surprised she knew this, but anyway, she had some grandkids, little grandkids, and she was asking them, she goes, who? And we were like standing there, because her grandkids, she goes, tea. And I thought, tea. But she didn't know how to speak, so she said, tea. And I don't know if they even answered her. I don't know, but anyway, that's. Chi chokwa has just in your mouth. And that's one thing we've taught our grandkids. They have to, I don't care where they're at, they have to have a nap. We could be having a picnic, they'll say, where's the napkins? Cause they clean their mouth constantly, they clean their hands constantly. So we say Ji Jokwa, I said just Ji is second person. So if I said I'm gonna clean my mouth, I say Ja Jokwa. I'm talking to you, so I say Ji Jokwa, I said just clean your mouth. Hasadijas is a command. It comes from Hasadki. Hasadki means clean. Hasadijas means clean it. You clean your mouth. Clean your mouth. Clean it. Aha. Aha jithihi jiaja. Okay, we're country people. Our meal, basically, a lot of it is fried potatoes, red beans, fried bread or biscuit, and some kind of meat. And that is our meal. So my grandkids, boy, they can eat fried potatoes, you know, and I have to fix it in a way that they won't have so much grease, but I'm probably gonna give them heart problems by the time they're 40 or 50, you know. But ahajifihi is potato, but it's descriptive. Aha is a potato. Jifihi means it's bumpy. It's bumpy. Jifihi. Like nini jifihi dos. They'll say the road is bumpy. This is descriptive. Aha jifihi. Jifihi means like bumpy or not smooth. Jiaja, and when I say that, they'll say, they know what aha jifihi is. And this is actually my conversation with him. Mahaga Jogo, Hife ha. Mahaga Jogo is school. Hife is short for Hithi. But I'm saying Hife ha was school good. Hife ha, this is good. And ha is kind of like a Hife ha. Was it? Oh my gosh. You know, he said, how was school good? Noggin githe. And this is noggin is what? Githe yitcha. Learn you. And you know, one day I asked my oldest one, I said, noggin githe yitcha. She said, oh, nothing. And I said, so you went for 6 hours and you didn't learn nothing? She said, no. I said, Nagin homebitza, what did you eat? She named every bit of it. And I thought, you know what you had for lunch, but you didn't learn nothing today. And I asked her that. You didn't learn nothing, but you know what you had for lunch. And that was, you know, and so now, she says, but I had lunch. And I said, so did you learn something? She goes, yeah. See, she knows now that she, you know, I said, but okay, what did you learn? Do you have homework? Now, this is us in our dinner table, because we don't eat till probably about 6:30, you know, and I'll say, Joga, Joga is paper, is to work on, but that's the only way we can say homework. Do you have homework? And that's first thing they do. They're to get home, get their homework, we eat supper, and then they're to work on it again. Okay, and this is our little lives as grandparents. Plural. Aglobida is to take a bath. Aglobagachi. Aglobagachi is aglobagachi is plural for take a bath. I'm talking to all of them. Look how this language is changing now to aglobus command. But I'm giving a command to all of them, but it don't have that. It's saying G. That's plural. 1, aglobus. 2, aglobagachi. More than 2. That's plural. Yeah, y'all's getting into some heavy stuff here in different words. Hadi hagin, lom hagachi. Okay, here we go with another one. Hadi hagin means early. Hadi is hold up. Whew, I lost Hadi. That left my mind. Hadi. Hagin is like when it's early. When it's still early. Lom hagachi. Lom hagat is plural. Go to bed. Lay down. This means lay down. Chi. Lom hagachi. It's more like command with that G, but more like a demand, I guess like a demanding. Hadi hagin lom hagachi. This is plural. Wakas. Okay, here we go. Wakas is lay down. Lom hida is 2 for more than 1 to lay down. Lom hida is to like. What does it say in there? Lom, you got a dictionary?
I do. There it is.
What is, look in the Greek part, see what lom hida, because I know for me it means to lay down. Y'all lay down, you plural. She's got to look this up because I'm lost to. I don't know how to explain that word. Is it even in there?
Was it long head?
Uh-huh. Lom hida.
It says, long ka, it's golden eagle, it doesn't have it in
Now lum here is eagle,
here. Yeah.
but lum hida, lum hida, lum me, he is eagle. I'm getting tongue tied.
I don't see it.
How about me? See, she says she don't find it in the dictionary. It's see, it's not in a dictionary. So lohida is to like lay down things, I guess. Lohagachi. That means y'all lay down. But that's plural. See, that's not even in a dictionary, and I don't even know if I should be using it. But I know what it means because that's what we're told. I mean, that's what we used when I was growing up. It says Hadi Hagin Lohagachi. Hadi Hagin means Hadi is early Hagi. Is anybody, we're gonna go back over this too. It is listed as lom hejida. Okay, when lom hejida means to lay things down, like sticks, lom hejida, like sticks, because she found it here, Desiree, lom hejida. It's listed there, lom hejida is to, remember, it's a ida. So lom has means y'all lay down like sticks, maybe. And lom hagachi means y'all lay down like things, y'all lay down. And that's what I use on them. So see, this is different, guys. This is going into really. So when you're talking to your kids or grandkids and you got more than one, telling them go to bed. For one, you say wakas. But you can say lomhas, go, that's more than 2 lomhas. Now this is getting into really some going into language really in depth. Any questions?
Like she said, that this and then that black one isn't everything. So you're teaching them stuff that's not in the books.
Okay, now she just said something here. What did you say?
Everything in these books is not the whole of the Mvskoke language. It's just part of it, and it's only one way to teach it,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there's
It-
many ways to teach it.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways, you know, so like that chokbilabila. Y'all listen to that. I'll give y'all a chore, go listen to it. Chokbilabila during the summer, listen for it. You'll hear him say chokbilabila. He'll say chokbilabila, chokbilabila. He'll go around saying that, and that's where we got the name, I guess. Who knows? I don't know, maybe we just named it that, and he starts saying, I am, that's who I am. Chokbilabila. Oshawa is a crow. Now, Lumhi, you know, what she was, Lumhi is an eagle. Lumheda is to lay down like sticks, okay? Oglumhedas, like if you say, Hotetska, it's Hotetska, Oglumhedas, lay the pencils down. You can't say, it's Hotetska, Wagijas. You can't say lay that down, you have to say Lumhedas. That's a plural now. So this, my grandkids know this. And I just realized that. I just realized that. Any questions so far? Because this went by fast. Hasiskifka hamgat, otiba hanidosti. Hasiskifka hamgat. Otiba hanidos. Any question? We're going to start this again. Let's see. Baxi say. Baxi is tomorrow. Say means over there. So we're going to start tomorrow over there. No, over tomorrow. Let's see, Lumbridge, Ubonagajoga, Ajuli, Longheda orgies. Okay, they have it in there?
Yeah, but you don't.
Okay, so there's one, but it's in the older book, right?
Yeah,
And it says, what get a judge? He goes, I like to lay that. I do too.
and here's the just choke Emma's but it's his, I had this little Luftbridge dictionary that's a real old dictionary that it's on my phone. I don't have it on paper, I just have it on my phone.
Well, that's good, because you know what, that could be useful.
And
You know, like there's a lot of things that we don't know that people, you know, and you know, elders, I don't know why they would tell me, but they would tell me words that say, this is what this is. This is what this is. And they would tell me, and I took it in. And then my family, you know, they spoke that way. So, and you know, going into this is what I want y'all to know. We're going in further. And you know, it's just speaking. Did you know what Hashid does? So if I say, there's a rain, did you know what Hashid just? I have to tell my grandson that all the time because he loves gravy and bean juice. And you know, that's our meal for us, you know, for our people. So he'll pour it and then he'll have it running down his little mouth. And I say, did you know what Hashid did this? And he'll say, oh, and then he'll take it and wipe his mouth, you know. And but you know, my grandkids, they will not come to the table without washing their hands, and they have to have a napkin. You know, and that's where I was taught by my grandma. And another thing, you know, when we were sitting at the dinner table, and I don't know why this is, she didn't want us to put our bowl on our plate. You know how you put your bowl on top of your plate? She didn't like that. And I don't know why. She never told us she'd fix it. She'd say, and she would take the bowl off and take the plate if we were just using the bowl. She didn't want us putting that bowl on that plate, but she let us use coffee saucers. She never told me why until this day. I wonder about that. I don't know what it was. There must have been something
I was
wrong.
gonna say there's a reason.
There was a reason. There was a reason she didn't like it. Long he had to lie down or get. He laundry, there it is to lie down, see, and you can say lomhagas, lomhagachi. Lomhagachi. See, that's saying y'all lay down. Good job, Thor. I use Thor here. He's good information. He's my helper, guys. All right. Onebiga, Chihitagal is Bakshi Asayan. Bakshi Asayan. Oh, I know. Mado, everybody. Mado.
Yay, Mahaya, that's great
Yay.
class. I love this.
Right, Mado.
Mado, Chihichigapis.
Oh.
Jimmy, oh. Mado.